Hello, and welcome to Mornings with Ken Rosato. It is Tuesday, May 12th, 2026. We'll take your calls at 888-658-0234. We kick things off with meteorologist Mike Favetta right now. Good morning to you, Mike. And I have a little question for you, sir. Why is Mother Nature playing dirty tricks on us? I mean, it's 44 degrees where I am right now.
It's chilly. It's chilly. Yeah, it's chilly. There was a chill in the air yesterday, and I went, no, 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 no. This is May. This feels like March. Something's wrong. The strawberries, the basil, all of the cool crops love this weather, right? You'll see the beans popping up, the sugar snap peas, all those early
Yeah,
spring plantings. All a fan. But everything else is like, too cold, not germinating, just
yeah,
kind of staying in like little flower, little leaf mode. Check out, they got the seeds growing in the backyard, and they haven't moved in like 3 weeks because
yeah.
it's too cold. And here we are. So thank you. As
Yeah.
I digress this morning, so we're starting off with a little bit of a cooler feeling, and after so much cloud cover yesterday, we wound up with some sunshine throughout last evening. Happened and poked through right around say 6-7 p.m. as that sun came through. There it is, nice clear sky, a little sprinkle overnight to our north, but beyond that, we are high and dry today, and all of that sun is really going to feel beautiful into this afternoon. So big blue H, the high pressure, moving across the area, right across New Jersey, in fact, bringing back all of the clear sky, not a cloud into this afternoon until we get to later on tonight. So once, say, the overnight hours hit after midnight into early tomorrow morning, warm front sneaks on through, and that'll provide a few sprinkles into the early morning hours on Wednesday, and then a little bit of a break for the rain on Wednesday afternoon, tomorrow afternoon, before more rain comes in by tomorrow evening, setting the stage for a wet day on Thursday, and then even more rain Thursday afternoon. So kind of cloudy and much cooler to finish the rest of the week. So enjoy the sunshine today, because it's really the only day with full sunshine all throughout the morning, midday, and afternoon we have this week until we get to the weekend. A cooler than average trend sets up across the Northeast, and even with that, here's that wet weather that's coming in for later tomorrow, giving us our rain, but it also brings some much needed rain down toward Florida, where that drought has been ongoing. The wildfires are still happening there toward Broward County, so much needed rain down for you.
Very good, sir. Appreciate that. At 7:03 Eastern, 4:03 Western right now. A couple of traffic incidents as we have 45 degrees again, northern New Jersey, 66 in Southern California, and it is 74 degrees in Los Angeles, in Fort Lauderdale, excuse me, as we mentioned, Florida. We take a look at some traffic right now. We have issues on Route 73, unanticipated construction delay. This is Route 73 northbound from Lincoln Drive south in Evesham Township. Right lane of 2 lanes and the right shoulder are closed. Excuse me as I cough. Thank you. Pardon me using my cough button here, my very expensive that only works sometimes and partially cough button. To the Garden State Parkway, two issues. The Pam says do not really exist because there are no camera shots of them. So I'll just pretend with you, okay? We have a disabled vehicle, Garden State Parkway, northbound south of exit 127, which is Route 440 in Woodbridge. All lanes open. It's just really volume because of the disabled vehicle. And then also on the Garden State, there is another disabled vehicle. This time it's specifically a disabled bus. Garden State southbound north of the Bergen Toll Plaza, Saddlebrook Township, all lanes open. Just again, a bit of a slowdown, all due to volume, people rubbernecking. The crossings for the Hudson River right now, Lincoln and Holland are both reporting 25. And the GWB upper and lower levels, upper level will be on the right side of your screen, lower level on the left side. You'll see things are slow at this hour, about 40 minutes into Manhattan. To the West Coast we go. We have a collision, unknown injuries in East LA on the 10 at Fremont Avenue on-ramp. And then there is a closure of a road. This is in Santa Fe Springs, and that's the 605 at the 91. And that's it. Wow. I thought LA would have more this hour. Whenever there's no rain or early morning dampness on the roads, LA can get away with it. And there you have it. It is 5 minutes past the hour right now, and President Trump says that America has increasingly profited from trade with China as he played down tensions over rare earth minerals, tariffs, and artificial intelligence that could rupture relations between the world's two largest economies. Trump leaves today for China for a Beijing summit with Chinese leader Xi Jinping. It's possible the two may meet as many as 4 times this year. The summit is meant to keep the economic relationship between the two mega nations stable. But there's always the possibility that policy announcements could be made. China may announce plans to buy American soybeans, beef, and Boeing airplanes, things we're all hoping for. And U.S. officials, in turn, also have talked about the creation of a so called board of trade to keep the sides talking on economic issues. And the U.S. says that Iran's latest peace proposal did not include provisions limiting the nation's nuclear program. That's the main purpose of the whole war effort in Iran. And they're saying, oh, it's like they're playing games. They're not serious. They have like 12 different factions trying to run that country right now. Each has something the other needs. So each tries to play their power. And the main thing is they all have collectively as an enemy President Trump and the United States, and they're trying to stretch this out as long as possible. So as a result, President Trump says, no, it is entirely unacceptable. It's a piece of garbage, their response, that is. And the Iranian Foreign Ministry demanded that the U.S. release Tehran's frozen assets and end the naval blockade. Yeah, hold your breath on that, Iran. In response, Trump said that he is increasingly leaning toward resuming military operations against Iran while calling the fragile ongoing ceasefire unbelievably weak. But I don't know about you, and I'm certainly not an expert on war. I think if you keep threatening and don't do anything, they're not going to believe you. So either we go in and take care of things, and I hate to say that because people, this is just personal opinion, people could get hurt. But we either do it. There's an old saying that many of you may know. It's called, let's just substitute a word, S or get off the pot. You know what that means? Pam, do you know what that means? Pam, our director? Yeah, S or get off the pot. And I think at this point, a lot of people are saying, and I know people on both sides of the aisle right now saying, you can only threaten and wag your finger so many times. Either S or get off the pot, or let's just pull our troops home and call it a day, one or the other. But to just keep saying, you better or else, we used to criticize, Republicans would criticize the Biden administration and the Obama administration for saying, we're drawing a line in the sand. We're drawing a line in the sand. And then when they crossed the line and nothing happened, well, then everybody on the right said, look at that. Look at Obama. He's doing nothing. Well, at this point, I think the Republicans need to wake up one way or the other. Support your president, but at the same time, S or get off the pot. It is 8 minutes after the hour, and the mayor of Arcadia admitted to acting as an illegal foreign agent of China. This is Arcadia, California, by the way. And this mayor has resigned her position in a shocking federal plea deal unsealed yesterday. Eileen Wang agreed that with prosecutors, that she had worked with the People's Republic of China. This is a communist Chinese spy right there. She admitted to this. This is not my allegation. Imagine this. And she was an elected California mayor. That is beyond disturbing. She said that she worked with the People's Republic of China to boost propaganda with a fake news website on U.S. soil between 2020 and 2022. She was elected in Arcadia to the city council November of 22, and the city, located in the San Gabriel Valley within LA's borders. The 58-year-old Wang worked with her then fiance Yaoning Mike Sun on a website that they called U.S. News Center. In fact, I think I had gotten like spam mail from U.S. News Center. And it claimed to be a news source for Chinese Americans, but in reality, it was nothing more than propaganda on behalf of the Communist Chinese government. And they admitted now that they were carrying out Beijing's orders through that site. But what's disturbing is, and this, by the way, I think is true of many cultures. Italian Americans see somebody Italian, they don't even look at the person's politics. I'm going to vote for Joey. He's a good guy. And I've asked people, what's good about Joey? He's a good guy. I see him down at the club. He's a good guy. All right, Joey is pro-communism. Did you know that? Same thing, I think, with every culture. And it may very well be the case here. Chinese Americans in Arcadia, California, you voted for a communist spy? Did no one ask questions? Did no one do a background check? Shifting gears, have you ever read the book of Revelation? I asked Pam. Pam, our director, she's into that, right? She's like, yeah, and okay. This is for those who sang the book of whom? It is unnerving. And by the way, having been a Catholic priest here, the book of Revelation, was the last book added in all of Bibledom, Old Testament or New. It was the very last book added, and there was a lot of debate. There was a lot of debate. There were a lot of church fathers who said, this is a little out there. The belief was that St. John the Beloved, St. John the Divine, wrote the book. Others say no, or that he had help. But St. John being the youngest apostle, St. John, John of the 12 apostles, was like 12 years old when he joined. A lot of people don't realize that. He was a little boy because his big brother was an apostle, James. So he wanted to be an apostle too. That literally is the case. So he lived the longest. He was the only one not killed of the 12 apostles. And he lived with the Virgin Mary until she died and went to heaven. Catholics believe she was assumed into heaven. And that John died, and they have his remains. But getting back to this, giving you a little theology lesson. In the book of Revelations, they talk about something that some believe may be coming true. Do you see that on your screen? Some believe that this is happening today as sort of living out the book of Revelation. The cradle of civilization, the Euphrates River there, is now turning into a dust bowl. The Euphrates, which gave rise to some of humanity's earliest civilizations, has been shrinking very rapidly. And that has raised concerns among some believers that a prophecy from the book of Revelation could be unfolding today. For generations, some Christians have interpreted Revelation chapter 16 as meaning that the drying river would pave the way for a massive Eastern army to march toward the Battle of Armageddon, the showdown that would precede the second coming of Christ. The Euphrates also appears in the Old Testament, by the way, Jeremiah chapter 50, a drought on her waters, they will dry up. Researchers blame much of that drying, though. It's not natural. They say it's because of aggressive groundwater pumping. Either way, it is what it is. And video shows some New York City gang battles that unleashed 182 bullets in the middle of Brooklyn streets. Terrifying. In one case, a man appears to fire shots minutes after a court-ordered meeting. Then he comes out, he fires shots. The awful caught-on-camera gun violence included several of 16 shootings involving what are believed to be 15 gang members who have since been arrested. And in what appears to be a peek inside President Trump's brain, Trump described a potential 2028 presidential dream team ticket of VP J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio, but he says he wasn't really endorsing this. This is just a thought. Trump made the announcement yesterday while speaking to members of the media in the White House Rose Garden. And how do you sleep? Do you use one pillow or do you use two pillows to prop up your head? What do you do, Pam? One pillow or two? You see, you're going to be fine. I use two, so I'm in trouble. So apparently it's not when you go to bed, but how your bed hits the pillow that can impact your health, from breathing and digestion to spine alignment. Now, many people prefer to sleep on two pillows. They say it's better if you have acid reflux, if you snore. Propping that head up, though, with the additional pillow, while providing temporary relief from those things, a 2026 study says that it may be bad for glaucoma if you have glaucoma. The British Journal of Ophthalmology says that two stacked pillows were linked to increased internal eye pressure in 65% of glaucoma patients. Watch. Let's pretend I have my head on a pillow. See how I prop my head up? The bend in your jugular veins, they believe, causes increased pressure in your eyes. And that, especially if you're younger, the pressure is higher. If you're under 44, that can lead to glaucoma or make it worse. So think about it. What do? Sleep with one pillow or two? 14 minutes past the hour. When we return, success, confidence, and connection taking center stage with a new event designed to empower women. We will explain. And meteorologist Mike Favetta has the full Garden State forecast. It's a nice one today. We're coming back in 2 minutes. And a very good morning. Welcome back to Mornings with Ken Rosato. It is Tuesday, May 12th, 2026. Officially, it is the middle of May. Does that feel that way already? It feels like May just started. But may I remind you that it has not just started. We are halfway through. Before you know it, it'll be August. Anyway, it is good to have you here on a Tuesday nonetheless, and hopefully you had a good night's sleep. Hopefully you are looking forward to a nice warm day after the chill we had. Meteorologist Mike Favetta, we call you in and ask what
Hmm.
on earth is going on. Is the earth like spinning into the dark side or something? Is that why it's
No,
so cold?
no, no. This is the wild part. I was just discussing this yesterday with my wife. How you go to a birthday party in March and it's warm and sunny and like 90 degrees. Then you go to another back to the same house birthday party in May, rainy and cold, and then the June birthday party is even colder still. So it's almost like every year this seems to happen. It gets colder and colder until July hits and we're all sweating from the big heat wave that comes in. So yes, Ken, a little bit of a
Yeah,
topsy-turvy, upside
I
down
just
sort of
point something
forecast.
out. This is a you problem. You're the meteorologist. You fix it. You call Mother Nature. This is not a me problem. This is a you problem. Just say, go ahead, do your
Well,
thing.
I'll
I'll just sit
work
back
on it.
and
I'll
listen.
work on it. It's on the list, right? It's on the list. We'll get through. We'll get through check by check. We've got some beautiful weather on the way today, like you had mentioned. Loads of sunshine and warm. Again, if you're standing in the sun, air temperatures will be a little bit cooler, holding in the upper 60s, but still lots of clouds and showers down to the south and east. This is much needed rain for Florida that moves on by. Back here in the Northeast, we're dry until tomorrow night. So even tomorrow, featuring nice, pleasant weather, maybe even warming up into the mid 70s in the afternoon. Then we get some rain that comes in for tomorrow night and kind of stays cloudy and cool into Thursday and Friday with this system that sits and spins off to our north going into the start of the weekend. Saturday should clear out beautifully, warming up again, and then Sunday, nice and mild before a quick shower comes in Sunday night, and then we have nice clearing into Monday and Tuesday. So early next week sees that warmer trend continue. The futurecast over the next few days, showing that system moving on by for tomorrow night, giving us our rain, and then kind of hitting the brakes and sitting there spinning, dragging in some more rain and clouds throughout the start of the weekend. But it all clears out by Saturday afternoon. Sunday looks great, and then going into Monday, the warm up returns. So with that, we have higher levels of pollen for the trees and grasses specifically. Those pollen levels tend to be high this time of year. And like I mentioned before, the Florida wildfires right there, western section of Broward County, right on the border of Weston. There's Alligator Alley 75, and all of these smoke now with a southerly wind is pushing its way northward. Yesterday was going right over the urban center, so it's staying west of the highways and really over the Everglades, and we'll keep that there. But even the next few days featuring some more rain, especially today. Out west, 100 degrees in all of these areas shaded in dark red. So some big heat happening right down toward the coast, even inland in the valley as we head into today and tomorrow. So big weather changes no matter where you are in the country. Either it's triple digit heat or fires or drought or cooler weather today. I think we got the brighter side of the forecast, Ken, with that beautiful sunny weather here in New Jersey.
We shall see. We shall see. I'm taking notes just so you know. Not that it's not enough to have video posted on the On New Jersey website or on LACA or now on FLA website. But we shall see, sir. Otherwise, I have summoned a meeting, a Zoom meeting at 9:05 with Mother Nature and you. I hope you don't mind. If you get the invite, the invite.
Okay.
Okay. I could see Mike shaking in his boots about that.
I'll be on
Michael,
mute.
check back. Ah, camera
Video
off.
off.
Yes. All right, Mike. Thank you, sir. Now I know. Now I know. It is 45 degrees up and down the state of New Jersey right now. Very chilly, but at least consistent. California, it is 61 degrees. Los Angeles, 62 degrees in San Diego. We check the traffic. Not a whole hell of a lot to tell you about. We have a disabled vehicle, Garden State Parkway, northbound, south of exit 127, Route 440, Woodbridge. All lanes open. It's just causing some volume. Also on the Garden State, another disabled vehicle, a bus, southbound north of the Bergen Toll Plaza, Saddlebrook. All lanes open once again in that case. Route 73, unanticipated construction delay. We had a shot earlier showing some delays. Apparently, that's clearing up. Uh, People have apparently heard about it, so they know the right lane and right shoulder are closed. That's by Lincoln Drive South in Evesham Township. We look at Route 139, which is from the Turnpike to the Holland Tunnel. And if you could make it through that filthy and reflective lens. You could see on the right side what looks like parked vehicles. That's actually a lane. Those are two lanes of traffic, and they're not moving. So that is indicative of the problems getting into the Holland Tunnel, 35 to 40 minutes in. The Lincoln Tunnel, much better. It's heavy, they're telling us right now, but it is moving at least 25 to 30 minutes with motion. I know it sounds like a lot, but it's moving. GWB upper and lower levels, 25 minutes in. The upper level on the right, lower on the left. It looks like a truck just kind of stopped there. Wonder what's going on with him. See that? He stopped, Pam, right? Pam, our director. Oh, he's moving now. He heard me. Thought he was taking a nap. There was nobody in front of him. All right. It is 22 minutes past the hour. Go to the West Coast quickly. Just a couple of things to tell you about. There is a hit and run, no injuries, though, thankfully. Baldwin Park, and that is by the 210 and West Azusa Avenue. There's a collision also in East LA at the 10 and Fremont Avenue on ramp. They're telling us now there's some weather conditions. We'll ask Mike about that. And there's a closure of a roadway South LA, the 710 at Route 91. So we'll find out about that weather condition when Mike is back. 22 minutes past the hour. Success, confidence, and connection are taking center stage with a new event designed to empower women. It's called Glam and Grit. It brings together women in business, leadership, and entrepreneurship for an afternoon focused on authentic connection. Renee Marino, one of the hosts of Glam and Grit, who, by the way, you may recognize the name and you'll recognize the face. She was in the film version of Jersey Boys. She's here to talk about the origins of the series. Hey, Renee, good morning to you. Good to have you on.
Hi, Ken. It's so nice to meet you. I wore my pink to brighten up the day since it's nice and early.
Perfect. Well, and by the way, my name, for real, the name Rosato, I don't know if you know in Italian, Rosato means pink. So you see, it's more than just a coincidence. Yeah, it does.
Yes,
Rosso means red. Rosato means pink. That's the thing.
Rosato. I
There
love
you
it. We
go.
got we
So
got Rosato and Marino. So get ready, everybody. We got two
we got
Italians
a
in the
law
house.
firm, a
Yes,
law firm next week on Main
yes,
Street. So
yes.
you got this really cool event. It's going to be at the Luxury Beauty Lounge in Little Falls, which, by the way, I used to live in North Caldwell, so I know exactly where that is.
Yeah.
The Luxury Beauty Lounge in Little Falls. It's going to be Saturday, May 30th, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Glam and Grit. So tell everybody what Glam and Grit is and what's going to be happening at the event on the 30th.
Glam and Grit is going to be an incredible event. We call this a high level networking event for women in business because my friend and partner, Vanessa, Andrea, and we said we want to create an event that we ourselves want to go to, want to be at. So many of us have been to networking events where it's transactional and you walk away and you get two Instagram handles and you're thinking, like, okay, what was that for? And we
Mhm.
wanted this to be not just networking, but deep connection, which is why we consciously decided to make it intimate, 30 women. So we are going to be talking about the power of speaking up, using your voice to ask for what you want in your life. Vanessa is going to share her story of building her business. She is the founder of Luxury Beauty and Luxury Beauty Lounge. And then she's going to take all 30 women through how to do their own makeup look. So we're going to start with the inner beauty, connecting with yourself, communicating with yourself, owning who you are. And then we move to the outer beauty, right? Once you feel good on the
Mhm.
inside, you glow from the inside, it shows on the outside. And then we're going to have fun with learning how to do our own makeup look. We have the whole event catered by the incredible Violantes out of Nutley, New Jersey.
Yep.
And we're going to have drinks, mocktails, cocktails. And Ken, we have some amazing sponsors for the event. So the women are going to walk away not just with my best-selling book, Becoming a Master Communicator, but also my Connect Method workbook that usually I just share when I go into companies and do trainings with companies. And then they get a swag bag full of products from a company called Oneka. And we're going to be doing a raffle. Celeste Moore, who is a certified image consultant, is giving away. We're going to raffle $1,000 value, a one-on-one color analysis that a woman's going to win. So it's just going to be a beautiful event, Ken, of coming together and really enjoying that human connection in this world of AI. I don't know about you, but there's nothing better than being in person, being able to feel someone's
Yeah.
energy, hug, and have great conversation.
I agree with you 100%. When I was at Channel 7 all those years, I literally was one of the few anchors, maybe one of two out of the whole team. Um, because I was not married with kids, so it made it easier. But I would go to 3 or 4 events a week, and I cannot tell you what a difference it made when you press flesh, you shake hands, you exchange numbers, you look into somebody's eye, because anybody could just sit down, broadcast, somebody passes you on the dial, takes note, and moves on. But when you
Yes.
shake somebody's hand and you exchange a number face to face and you exchange texts, now it's a whole different animal. And by the way, I was smiling when you talked about Violantes because Violantes is like one of the best meat markets in town. We used to have one of their relatives in Cedar Grove. Now I'm just talking Italian. I got to
I
stop.
love it.
We
I
can
love
talk
it.
food. We'll talk
Ken,
food
well,
for hours.
Ken, I have to tell you, Neil Violante is my cousin, the
Oh,
owner of
stop it.
Violante. So we got to meet there. You and I have to meet there. We'll grab a sandwich. on
100%.
that.
You know their location that was on 23 in Cedar Grove. I used to literally ask them. I used to go in there like at least twice a week. I used to go in wanting one thing and come out $400 later with like 2 bags.
Wow.
You know what happens. They're
Yes, of
phenomenal.
course. Of course.
And the sweetest people. I love your cousins. And not that I don't love you. I love your cousins too. So
Oh,
now
thanks,
this
Ken.
event, it's true. It's true though. They're lovely. And the event is just a whole different. I looked at this last night when I was reading the synopsis of it. I said, this is, I guess you could describe this as holistic because when
Yes.
you deal with everything, right? From the
Yes.
inner and outer beauty to working in an intimate group, you're not looking at bringing 200 people together. You're talking about
No.
literally forming bonds here, right?
Yes. Yes, Ken. I don't know about you, but I can deal with surface level conversation for a hot 5 minutes. And then I'm like, all right, Ken, what's your biggest dream, Ken? Let's talk about where'd you grow up? I want to get into it. And that's how you get to really know someone. At the end of the day, all the human spirit wants is to feel seen, heard, and understood. And that's what I teach. That's what I talk about from stages all over the world as a keynote speaker. That's what I love. Maybe it's from my Italian upbringing. I know you get it, Ken, but there's nothing better than that. So that's what this event is all about. As you said, it's holistic. It's not just business, it's personal development, it's friendship, it's community, it's connection. And in this world where we can be connected through screens all day long, this is really the separator when we get to come together. I mean, human beings by nature are built in community. We want to connect. We want to be together. So this is going to be so incredible. And for me, it's special because it's local. I'm a Jersey girl. I grew up in New Jersey. I love my roots. I'm grounded in where I come from. So to be doing this event and introduce this from where I come from, it's really special.
Renee, they're going to cut us off because we got commercials coming up in a few seconds. I just want to make sure we get a website for tickets and more information for this.
Yes, go to my Instagram at I am Renee Marino, and it's right in the profile. Glam and Grit, Saturday, May 30th.
I love it. Again, the next Glam and Grit event, Luxury Beauty Lounge, Little Falls, Saturday, May 30th, 2 to 6 p.m. Renee Marino, this sounds like a hoot. Too bad. I think I'm gonna identify as a woman that day and
Yes,
come.
please, please do.
I'll look fabulous in pink.
You
Renee
will.
Marino, you're awesome. Thank you for
Thank
coming
you,
on.
Ken.
Come back and let us know how it all turned out. I want to
I
know how things worked out.
absolutely will. And I'll
All
see you
right.
at
Good deal.
Violante's.
Yes. Hey, please, I'll go and get some prosciutto. And yes, I
Yes.
pronounced the O. All right. Have a good one, Renee. That's fantastic. What a good event. What a smart event, too. All right. When we come back, there is still no cure for an awful disease. It is called cystic fibrosis. You may have heard of it. Do you understand how it works, though? When literally there are fibers in the lungs, you cannot breathe properly. But there is hope that can change. May is Cystic Fibrosis Awareness Month. We're going to talk about that with somebody who's been through it. And the phone lines are open at 888-658-0234. We're back in 2 minutes. Very good morning. 32 minutes past the hour, Tuesday, May 12th, 2026. Welcome back to Mornings with Ken Rosato. Meteorologist Mike Favetta. Boy, after having Renee Marino, Mike Favetta, Ken Rosato, I'm telling you, I'm going to order the prosciutto and capicola right now, and we'll have a little nosh.
It does sound like a law firm partnership. It really does. When you say it fast, it's there. It's there.
It has a nice ring to it.
It does. And thinking about it more and more, it really does. The forecast has a nice ring to it too, Ken. When you see
Good.
all the sunshine that's in the forecast today, beautiful weather, even on the West Coast. We could be one of those, coast to coast firms, right? You call your local affiliate. Well, with all of the clear sky today, even right down toward the California coast, lovely weather there, and even back out east, lots of sunshine across the Northeast today. It's down across Florida. You have the showers and clouds, which again are really badly needed given the drought situation and those wildfires that keep spreading there west of Miami and Fort Lauderdale. So for the next few days, there is a little bit of a cool down on the way. You see this little dip in the jet stream here over the Northeast. Well, that dip causes two things. One, brings back cooler weather, and two, also brings back some rain, with some rain on the way as soon as tomorrow evening. That rain kind of lingers and sits as the storm kind of spins over the Northeast, giving us some showers and clouds each day. But the cooler trend will make it feel quite chilly, even as we head into the upcoming weekend. And then the rapid rise in temperatures on Saturday will be lovely. Out west, all of that marine layer with that cooler breeze off of the Pacific pushing in some of those low clouds and fog throughout each morning. But beyond that, dry otherwise, with a very persistent low staying offshore, and that just provides the clear sky that'll take over into each afternoon, and that's why there's not much in the way of rain right now, not even any cloud cover down along the coast. So a nice sunny start to the day, again, beyond that morning marine layer. Back east, we stay dry throughout the afternoon today. It is a lovely day, our driest day this week, because showers and clouds are in the forecast for tomorrow evening and again on Thursday, and maybe a sprinkle on Friday. We'll detail that coming up with your New Jersey forecast, Ken, in a few minutes.
All right, Mike. Thank you very much. 45 degrees up and down the state of New Jersey, 59 degrees Los Angeles, 60 now in San Diego. Crashes to tell you about. Let's start with the Garden State Parkway. There's actually a disabled bus in this case. Garden State Parkway southbound, north of the Bergen Toll Plaza, Saddlebrook Township. Look at the right side of your screen there, right upper right. And that is causing just volume. This is it's moving the disabled bus off to the shoulder just around that bend, but you can see the delay it's causing as a result. We also have a problem with a crash. This one is a crash. Garden State Parkway northbound, exiting at 100B, Route 66 east in Tinton Falls. There's a partial ramp blockage causing that problem. Route 9, we have a crash southbound. This is by Woodbridge Township. The ramp lane is closed, and we have problems with unanticipated construction. Route 73 northbound by in Evesham Township. The right lane and right shoulder currently closed. We have problems also in your Hudson River approaches. Let's look at Route 139 if we have that. Thank you, Pam. You can see how heavy that traffic is. Look at by where it says SE. Those are 2 lanes of actually moving traffic. They're stopped because of bumper to bumper traffic there. But that is Route 139 making your way into the Holland Tunnel. That's going to cost you 35 minutes into the city. Lincoln is about 20 to 25 in the GWB upper and lower level approaches. We could check that out now. 8095 on the right, you will see the lower level. I'm sorry, the upper level. On the left, you will see the lower level. And that's going to cost you 35 minutes in. To the West Coast, just a couple of things to tell you about very quickly. Hit and run, no injuries. And this is in Baldwin Park on the 210 at Azusa Avenue. We have a traffic collision now in East LA at the 10 and Fremont Avenue on-ramp. Closure of a road, South LA at the 710 by Route 91. And it is now 37 minutes past the hour. Cystic fibrosis is a rare genetic disease that affects tens of thousands of people living in the U.S. It impacts the lungs, the pancreas, and other vital organs while requiring lifelong care. Although major advances in treatment have helped many patients live longer and healthier lives, the disease still carries a huge burden, and there is still no cure. It is Cystic Fibrosis Awareness Month. Rebecca Duckworth joins us to share her personal journey. We say good morning to you, Rebecca.
Good morning.
Good to have you on. I remember as a youngster back in the day, I'm 59 now, so that was a lot of years ago. But we knew somebody who briefly lived in our area whose mother used to have to literally pound his chest and back every day, all day, and we couldn't understand as kids what was going on. And that was what to loosen mucus, right, in the lungs. So tell everybody what it's like to live with cystic fibrosis and what the symptoms are and what you have to deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, so CF is a rare genetic progressive disease. It's something that you're born with, and it causes thicker mucus in the body, which is why your friend's mom had to do the pounding on the back. That happened to me as well. I'm old enough that I'm sort of in that category. My mom
Yeah.
and my dad used to pound on my back an hour and a half a day or so, and now there's more options for that. We don't have to do the percussive therapy any longer. There's a vest that kind of straps on that shakes for you. But nebulized inhaled medications, digestive enzymes because I can't digest food on my own. There's a lot that goes into care. I still do about 90 minutes a day of care just to keep the mucus in my lungs out of there. And like I said, I can't digest food on my own. And if you add it up over my lifetime so far, we're looking at, I think it's 2.5 years of cumulative treatment time that I spent just trying to stay healthy.
Wow. Well, thank God because there has been that little bit of progress, the vest and things like that, what a difference that makes. And so that is an amazing amount of time that I'm sure, I'm guessing you're used to it by now as part of your daily routine. But for people, think about that, grasp how much effort it takes to just get through your day. And it's just so much. So your typical day would be what? You wake up and what's the first thing you have to do? You have to take supplemental enzymes in order to consume food?
Yeah, the first thing I usually do is the treatment. So I, strap in my nebulizer, I get my vest on, and spend the first 45 minutes of my day doing that and getting that done out of the way. Even if that means the day starts very early, you got to get it done before you do anything else. And then, yes, I do go for breakfast or something, but I've got to take, I think it's 7 or 8 pills before I start that. And then each time I eat subsequently, there's pills involved as well because I don't do a lot of digesting on my own.
Wow. And now we were just looking at some video of people waking up and having to cough and things like that. Do you find yourself waking and coughing nonstop through the night?
Certainly, if you're sick, it's much worse if you're sick in terms of how much mucus is collected in the lungs. And CF is a disease that affects everybody a little bit differently. There's
Mhm.
lots of mutations, genetic mutations that fall under the CF umbrella that cause the stickier mucus, but everyone's organ systems are affected a bit differently. So I've always had it a bit worse in the digestive. So if it weren't for those enzymes, I wouldn't be here. So we're very
Yeah.
grateful for those.
Well, thank God we're living when we're living. Now the real thing is we keep our fingers crossed and hope that we get a cure. That would be lovely. I know that it is so important for you and for anybody, and it should be important to everybody that we get a cure for cystic fibrosis. How is science going right now with that? Do we have anything with genetics and whatnot that may indicate we might be on the track?
Certainly in my lifetime, we've seen immense progress. When I was born, they told the doctors I'd be lucky to live to 18, and I'm very grateful to be well beyond that now. And we have modulators, which kind of are pills that correct the underlying defect within your body. It doesn't cure it, still I got on the modulator and it was immensely helpful, but I still did IV antibiotics the 3 subsequent years after that. So we're still waiting for that cure. It's been amazing to see all the progress and we're so grateful, but we still got a lot to go.
Yeah, and now you are a performer. You're not letting it hold you back. You're a performer and co-founder of the Distractors nonprofit. So how's that work help bring comfort and support to other people who face medical challenges?
Yeah, absolutely. I founded the Distractors. Like I said, I'm a performer by trade, so actor, musician, and I really just wanted to help kids who, like me, grew up in the doctor's office, grew up in the hospitals, just find some joy there because that is so huge in the healing process and in learning how to live with so many doctor's appointments and so many treatments. There's got to be a lot of humor involved, in my opinion.
Good for you. I pray to God that there is a cure, that you could talk about this as something in your past. Let's hope that comes in our lifetimes. What's a website, Rebecca, for more information?
Yes, visit cff.org/CF month, and you can learn more information about the work the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation is doing and how you can get involved.
And how about the distractors? What if people want the distractors to come around? How do they contact you guys?
Yeah, you can check us out at distractors.org. And that's a whole video library of resources to help kids, not only with CF, but with other chronic illnesses, learn how to cope in the hospital and have a little fun along the way.
I love it. Rebecca Duckworth, good health to you. I wish you that. And talking about Cystic Fibrosis Awareness Month, thank you so much for coming on this morning.
My pleasure. Thank you.
You bet. It's a lot. We say there, but for the grace of God, go we. Somebody having to live with all of that, but she's a trooper. There's a reason why Rebecca's here, and it's to spread that message. It is 43 minutes past the hour. She is a 3-time Olympian, a 6-time USA champion, the author of a new children's book. It's almost exhausting talking about this woman's incredible achievements. She's been on the show before. I don't know why she's been nice enough to grace us because she's amazing. We will speak with South Orange native superstar, I call her. She's an icon, Hazel Clark. That's Dr. Joe Clark's daughter, by the way, as if there wasn't enough stardom and amazingness in that family. That's going to be when we come back. And meteorologist Mike Favetta's full forecast. And we'll take calls at 888-658-0234. You're watching Mornings with Ken Rosato. We're back in 2 minutes. Welcome back to Mornings with Ken Rosato. 46 minutes past the hour. We will take your calls at 888-658-0234. Meteorologist Mike Favetta with a confused Garden State forecast, although it's going to be nice today. Yeah, I'd say 43 degrees in middle of May. That's kind of confused.
It's confusing for, when you step outside and go, I thought it was May. We're supposed to be warm. And here we are, little chilly, little cool. But there's some warmer weather in the forecast for this afternoon. It has to happen with all the dry air, the beautiful warm sunshine. Any of this rain you see over the Midwest, that holds off until tomorrow. So we stay clear going into this afternoon, but there's rain on the way by tomorrow night. And kind of some of that rain lingers throughout the day on Thursday. So plan on a wet finish to the week. Kind of cloudy by the time we get to our Friday. And then Saturday clears out beautifully. A little sprinkle maybe Saturday night, but beyond that, Sunday is dry and Monday looks beautiful. Keep it dry as well for Tuesday. So even the long range forecast looks great. For the time being, plan on the clear sky today. Here's that rain that comes in later tomorrow night and lasts throughout our early Thursday. Most of that wet weather lingers into Thursday afternoon. So again, it's a wet period going into the next few days, but Saturday clears out beautifully, and the big warm up that's on the way that takes our highs well above average includes portions of the southeast. So right through the end of May, plan on that big warm up, and even drier than average conditions too for most of the East Coast. Some heavier rains forecast through the Midwest, but the drought continues for most of New Jersey. Severe drought down south. Overall, though, I think we'll wind up being a little bit wetter than average by the end of this weekend.
All right. Thank you very much, Mike. Appreciate it. Just a quick check of traffic as we have 45 degrees up and down the state of New Jersey right now in Los Angeles, 59 degrees in San Diego. We have 60 and in Southeast. So we have our three channels on New Jersey, on LA, and on Florida. We have 78 degrees now already. Humid. Fort Lauderdale. That's what we got. We look at the traffic situation. It's building quickly now. We have a what they're calling operational activity and debris on the Garden State Parkway Express Lane southbound by exit 105, Tinton Falls. State Police there slowing down traffic to take care of the debris. We don't know what that debris is, though, but they're working on it. We have another issue on the Garden State crash northbound, exiting at exit 100B, which is Route 66 east in Tinton Falls. Partial ramp blockage there. We have a problem on 280 right now with a disabled vehicle reported, and that is westbound east of exit 8, West Orange Township, left lane of 4 lanes closed. And Route 9, we have a crash now southbound by Smith Street, Woodbridge Township, with the ramp lane closed there. We go over to the Hudson River crossings. The Lincoln is pretty good, actually, in like 25 minutes in. The Holland Tunnel, Route 139 entrance, making your way in from the turnpike, rather. Take a look at the traffic you have with that dirty lens. I'm going to climb the pole and clean that lens myself someday. You say there's a lunatic up on the pole cleaning the lens, but it'll get done. Nonetheless, you see that jam in traffic in those middle lanes, all making your way into the Holland Tunnel. GWB upper and lower levels, the 80-95 approach. You'll see the upper level moving slightly better than the lower level right now, but either way, it's going to come. I guess it was moving. The upper level's on the right. It was moving a little better. I cursed it. Now they're both heavy, but it's about 40 minutes into Manhattan at this hour, 7:49. The West Coast, just quickly to mention, we have a closure of a roadway right now, South LA, the 710 at Route 91, and there's a hit and run reported East LA at Whittier Boulevard at South Hillview Avenue. 49 minutes past the hour, and Hazel Clark has spent her life proving the power of perseverance both on and off the track can bring you success. The South Orange native became a 3-time Olympian and 6-time USA champion while overcoming performance anxiety that followed her from her teenage years into adulthood. Now she has written a children's book, Hazel Takes the First Step. And she's here to tell us all about that and more. 2026 New Jersey Hall of Fame nominee, Hazel Clark. I'm voting for you. Welcome to Mornings. Hello again. How are you?
Good morning, Ken. How are you?
I'm great. I look at your success and the success of your whole family, your sister, your dad. You just come from, and it's success because of hard work. But you define meritocracy, working hard to succeed. What was it like in your house growing up with a fellow sister who was an Olympian too? I mean, people in their whole lives never meet an Olympian, and you got 2 in your house. Didn't you have other relatives too?
Listen, first of all, let's start with the baseball bat. My dad was carrying around a baseball bat and a bullhorn, so that's the first problem. And Morgan Freeman's following him around trying to learn how to be like him for the movie. And then you've got my sister, who's a 4-time Olympian. You have my sister-in-law, who's an Olympic gold medalist. A lot of people
Right.
overlook my brother. He was a top athlete and is now the director of track and field at Stanford University. So when I looked around at my dinner table, I was like, wow, there's nowhere to go from here but down. I felt very overwhelmed by the legacy and everything that everyone was accomplishing around me, for sure.
I feel like such a fat, lazy slacker just talking to you. My gosh. But I love this. I love the motivation. And it's just evidence that if you commit yourself, you prove yourself, you get that motivation, you can succeed. So talk about the motivation behind writing Hazel Takes the First Step. I love this.
Well, I'll tell you, I really struggled, and I've been very open about my struggle with performance anxiety. I think for me, it was overlooked because I was number one in the nation. I was, top high school athlete, top collegiate athlete. I was winning, so they thought that I was okay. But the truth was, I would sit in a dark room and I would rock and I would sweat, and I didn't really find joy in running the way I wish that I could have. So I read some article a while back that said when you share your story authentically, especially with young people, it really helps them. And I realized as a three-time Olympian, as I started to tell young people or people in general, I was really struggling with fear and, reluctant to run. And my journey, talked about my journey, it really inspired people to open up about their struggles as well. And so the book is all about me being a young girl, insecure and trying to find my place and step outside of the shadows of my family, and how close I was to not even running track. I was figure skating and trying every other sport under the sun. And my father, I'll never forget, I had a figure skating accident and I woke up in the hospital and my father leaned over and said, "I've had enough. You're going to run track and field." And I'm grateful that he did that because he gave me a hard push into my future with that. So,
Wow. That's
yes.
amazing. Like literally every sentence out of your mouth has my mouth. If people could see the off camera, I'm like, my mouth is hard. Your story is just amazing. And
Thank you.
despite those challenges, you went on to become a three-time Olympian. So now what helps you overcome the moments of self-doubt? How do you get through that? Because by the way, let me just say, I was with ABC News 20 years as an anchor, and there was one time I worked with a co-anchor who had performance anxiety, was terrified to be on camera.
Right.
It's like, how did you make it here?
Wow.
What she would do is she would close her eyes about 30 seconds before the show, take a deep breath, count backward, and she would mutter something quietly and it would focus her. And then she'd go on the air and be
Wow.
flawless on the air. That's how she did it. But that was her way of getting in touch. How did you do that?
I often reflect on that because I think about my first Olympic team. My family made history. My sister, sister-in-law, and I, we swept the Olympic trials. First, I got first, my sister-in-law got second, and my sister got third. And that had never been done in history. What people don't know on the backside was I did not want to get on that track. And I was so close to quitting. I remember my friend said, and that's where I got the title of the book, Hazel, just go out there and take the first step. If you can't take a second step, you never have to run again. And I remember taking a deep breath and just going for it. And something took over. I mean, it was just all of my training, all of my preparation took over, and I was able to finish the race. And so that's always my message to people. You don't have to feel courageous all the time. You don't have to feel confident, but you have to take the first step. You cannot quit on yourself before you begin because you're going to miss out on so many amazing opportunities. I would not be an Olympian today if I would have walked off that track. So I'm just grateful that I took the first step and allowed my talent, my preparation, all the support that I had take over and get me to that finish line.
And what a loss it would have been for our country, for the entire country, if you did
Oh,
not do
thank
that.
you.
So that motivation, it's the honest truth, right? There's nothing about that that
Yes,
isn't true. It is that
right.
motivation that helped our entire country because of you. And the Women's
Yes.
Sports Foundation says that girls leave sports at twice the rate of boys by
Mhm.
age 14 because of confidence issues. So
Yes.
that's, I'm assuming, what were one of the motivating factors behind addressing this so early for you.
Absolutely. I mean, I started running at 16 years old, and it was because my father literally said, "You're going to do this." And I'm grateful for that. But I think about how close I was to not even having this career and trying because I was afraid of failure. And I hear that a lot from especially as you said, young ladies, but young athletes in general, just this fear of what if I'm not good enough? And my message is you are a champion when you get out there and you can look yourself in the mirror and know that you gave your best. It's not always going to go your way, but it teaches you resilience, how to get back up from failures and make adjustments. And there is no failure in reality because it's just a learning lesson if you take it forward and get better. So I'm really trying to make people comfortable with that thought because this fear of failure, this fear of I'm not good enough, these comparisons that young people are doing, especially with social media, are very detrimental. And I think we're going to lose a lot of other amazing champions and people that could do great things in their lives because of these challenges
Yeah,
if we don't
social
address
media,
them.
it's such a brain killer. It just, you look at that and you think, well, I could never be as good as that. When meanwhile, the person spent 10 hours editing whatever to make themselves look at their best, right? And we just think, oh, I could never
Yes.
achieve that. Well, neither could they. Now you
Right.
you run sports camps in New Jersey and New York,
Yes.
help motivate
Yes.
people and get them going. So talk about those camps.
It's my favorite thing to do. My track and field camps are just absolutely phenomenal. I bring Olympians and world-class coaches just a whole great staff together every year. And we really try to pour into the young people that attend our camps. You can't get someone in shape in 5 days, right? But what you can do is give them the basic skills, the foundation, the mental preparation to be great and to really go forward. And once they go back and work with their personal coaches, capitalize on their opportunities. And so that's what we try to do. We have a sports psychology component, which many camps don't have. We know that it's just about, you have to train the mind just as much as the body. And I love doing it. My young people come back. They're my junior coaches. They go on to get scholarships. They go on and come back, and we do talks, and it's really a family experience. My brother comes out, my sister comes out, and we just love doing it.
And your dad, Dr. Joe Clark, inspired so many people through education and leadership. I talk about his legacy. And for those who don't realize, Lean on Me, the movie, right, was based on what he did, how he turned around East Side High School in Patterson, which was like a war zone when he came in. Nobody who got into East Side, you were, it was like, maybe if you'll get out alive, that was it. And your dad literally took it and went, who does that? How does your dad, how did he even, well, we could do a whole show on that, but talk about what it was like having Joe Clark as dad in the house.
You know, I like to look at the videos of me as a young girl and think about how my father would pull me out on the front lawn. There'd be cameras lined up and, you know, kind of, I'm watching him and I'm thinking, what is going on? He's carrying around a baseball bat, a bullhorn. The president's calling our house. You know, there's being a movie made. But something my father always told me is none of this really matters. My real legacy is going to be how I helped people. They're not going to think about me being on the cover of Time magazine or the movie. They're not going to think about your medals and how fast you ran. You have to be able to give back to the community. He taught us to serve our communities in all that we do. And that's why the Clark Legacy Family Fund and all the things that my sister's doing with her foundation and what I'm doing with young people through my camps, that's so important. When my father passed away, people weren't calling to say, oh, the movie was great. They were calling to say, your dad gave my mother money so that she could buy my books my first year of college. He coached me in Little League. And those stories helped me realize that's what cemented his legacy. And I think we all have a chance to be great, to be champions, to have long-lasting legacies by just helping one person. And so I think that is what makes me most proud about my father.
If your dad isn't a saint right now, then none of us have a chance. Period. That's that. Talk about we're out of time. Actually, I just want to make sure everybody gets the Clark Family Legacy Fund website so people could read more about it. Do you have that website for us?
You know, I will send people to hazelclark.org. That's a place where you can purchase the book. You can find out about my family. We give talks, speaking engagements. You know, I go out and talk to young people about mental health and healthy ways to look at performance. So it's just a great stopping point to find out everything about what we're doing. So hazelclark.org is
That's the way to do it. Hazel Clark, hazelclark.org. And the name of the book, Hazel Takes the First Step. It's available wherever you buy books. 3-time Olympian, 6-time USA champion, 2026 New Jersey Hall of Fame nominee. So vote. And New Jersey icon. Hazel Clark, God bless you and your family. And thank you for being an icon and so inspiring. And thank you for coming on this morning.
God bless you too, and have a great day, New Jersey.
You bet. All right, Hazel. She's amazing. What a story. 59 minutes past the hour right now for those watching on LACA on the West Coast. Stay tuned for your local news. If you're watching on New Jersey, we'll be back live with New Jersey news, opinion, weather, and traffic. Thanks for watching Mornings with Ken Rosato. It is Tuesday, May 12th, 2026. Welcome to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato, taking calls at 888-658-0234. Lots of sunshine today, highs mid-60s, maybe a little rain returning tomorrow. Meteorologist Mike Favetta comes on in now to tell us about this Garden State forecast. Good morning, Mike.
Morning, Ken. It's already warming up. We're enjoying the warming trend. We were in the 40s early this morning, still hanging on there up in Sussex County, but for the rest of the state, warming into the 50s right now and beyond. We'll likely hit the 70s before this afternoon. So it's running about 3-4 degrees cooler than yesterday. However, the difference today is we get a load of sunshine, which will really help the heating process. And with that northwesterly wind drying us out, keeps our skies nice and clear today, and will bring back a plenty of warm weather through this afternoon. So high pressure doing its job, helping those highs warm quickly into the upper 60s, low 70s. Then we get a few late overnight clouds into tomorrow morning, maybe an early morning sprinkle for the early morning on Wednesday, and then we're right back to some sunshine tomorrow afternoon, helping temperatures again warm into the low 70s. But it's tomorrow evening that the rain comes in and sticks around from that point forward. So tomorrow night, lasting throughout most of the day on Thursday. You see all these showers here that linger throughout the afternoons and keep us gray and cloudy through much of the day on Friday. That will also keep temperatures in the 50s only before we see some clearing on Saturday, and that clearing warms us again into a warmer finish to the weekend. So the next few days featuring some clouds and showers, especially tomorrow evening, and then all day Thursday with some mostly cloudy skies by Friday. We'll tell you all about the big warm up this weekend coming up with your next weather update in just a few.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. 50 degrees now in northern New Jersey, 49 degrees in Trenton. And in terms of traffic, we have a few things to tell you about. We have operational activity and a debris spill on the Garden State Express Lane southbound and 105 exit. That's Tinton Falls. State Police there trying to clear that up for us. Also on the Garden State, there's a crash northbound exiting at 100B, Route 66 in Tinton Falls. Okay, now we know where the debris spill came from. Must have been involved in that accident. They have it as two separate incidents for whatever reason. It must be near each other. We have a crash on Route 9 southbound by Smith Street, Woodbridge Township. A ramp lane is closed there. And the approaches to the Hudson River, the Lincoln Tunnel right now is actually not so bad, 25 minutes in. The Holland Tunnel is going to cost you about 35 minutes. Check out the Route 139 approach. It is jamming. Those lanes are just not moving at all. The GWB upper and lower levels, we now understand that there's a problem with a disabled vehicle. It says lower level from exit 1B, Harlem River Drive, Amsterdam Avenue, New York. So what that tells me is once you get across the bridge, that's the issue. And look what it's doing on the New Jersey side. So this is backed up about 3 miles right into New Jersey. That's why that is so slow. It's now going to cost you at least 45 minutes into Manhattan, upper level on the right, lower on the left. It is 8:06. New Jersey's real estate market is especially tough these days. Inventory is very low. Prices keep rising. Mortgage rates are still fairly high. Steph Mann is the principal agent and owner of Dwell New Jersey in Summit. She has been on the show before. She's here to talk about the issues and the challenges and how to overcome them. We say good morning to you, Steph.
Morning, Ken. How are you?
Great, thank you. And we should just let everybody know we're going to talk about this in this segment. We have a big event coming up tomorrow night, and that is in Peapack, New Jersey, which many people have never heard of. I was just telling our director, Pam, I'll be in Peapack. She says, what's a Peapack? We'll talk about that in a second. But I am going to be the MC for your event, the host for your event. So I just want to put that out there so that there's no issue of Ken never told us. So I'm putting it out on the table. So now it seems that home prices in north central New Jersey just continue to rise. I used to live in North Caldwell, sold our house about a year and a half ago. The same house I sold for what I sold it for is up by $200,000 in a year and a half. I'm looking at it thinking, I wouldn't buy it for that price. It's crazy. And this is what we see. We see that Caldwell proper, where no house was like over $1 million, it's now 1.4 for like the average house there. What is going on?
Yeah. Thanks, Ken. We're in the middle of another frenzied spring here in north central New Jersey. We're such an anomaly when you listen to sort of national news versus what's happening here in real estate. So what we're seeing really are two main groups that are feeling stuck. The only thing really on the market these days are estates, sadly, or relocations, new construction, or these sort of divorce situations that you don't want to see. So there's really no organic movement happening within the industry. And these two groups that are sort of feeling stuck, this is what we're seeing, are the 40 somethings with, kids that are growing, they need more space, but, they don't have, they're not looking for, there's no perfect house for them that's popping up because there's just so little inventory. So they feel a little bit stuck and they're deciding to stay and renovate versus another group, which is what we're seeing with empty nesters, are also not necessarily hitting the road. They're staying around town to sort of have the grandkids come over. They like having their space. We're not seeing as many sort of downsizings in this group right now. We're seeing a lot of empty nesters staying put. So it's these two groups that are really, because of interest rates being high and because of the home prices being high, they kind of feel like they don't necessarily know where they can go. Like they want to move. They know they sort of should move. They should cash out on the market, but they don't necessarily think that there's anywhere for them to go. So this event that we're doing, we're so excited to have you moderating, Ken. It's going to be fabulous. So this event hosted by Dwell New Jersey is sort of our way to hopefully provide a little bit of a solution to this stuck market. And it's for anyone who's looking to potentially buy and renovate a home, kind of do a full scale renovation, someone who might be feeling stuck in their home and they don't necessarily know where to go. And the right home just isn't hitting the market and they don't necessarily want to pay the high price for a home that's not exactly right. So it's a wonderful event at Natarar in PPAC. You're familiar with Natarar?
I looked it on. In fact, Pam will show the video. Pam, you got the video of the Natarar of the land. This is back when the Pendry company bought the land, and or this is somebody else's video. We do have the other video though, and this is like an approach to the Natarar. So it's for everyone. Just to give you a quick aside, it's 500 acres. The hotel encompasses mostly on 100 acres. Right? It's an old estate that they bought, and they're building onto it. And they turned it into what is voted the best hotel in the entire country. Am I correct on that?
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. So what better venue to hold our event than a stunning, stunning mansion? Yes, it's now the Pendry, and you can see such history in this home. It was built in the 1900s by the heir of the Macy's fortune in the early 1900s. So a fabulous backdrop for the event, but really just a great way for people to come and learn a little bit about, if they're not finding a home that necessarily fits their needs and they don't want to pay a high price for a home that doesn't fit their needs, why not find something that needs a little bit of work and then jump into a renovation? But there are obviously a lot of questions that come along with that. So our panelist, myself, obviously, Ken, thank you so much. You'll be our moderator. And then we also have James Stanley and George Oliphant of James Stanley, New York and New Jersey, a design build duo that's going to be speaking to the actual hows, the costs, the timeline, financing, and all of these questions will be answered for someone who might be considering doing something like this.
One thing that I've spoken to many people in the industry about as well, like yourself, and they've said that until mortgage rates come down, that they're not going to budge. As you said, they don't know where to go. When people bought their homes, when I got my house in North Caldwell, and it was a super jumbo at a time when the economy had died, yet I was able to get a super jumbo for under 4%. This is going back to 2007 when we had the crash. Today, it's hard to get mortgages at 7%. So people have a 2% mortgage on a $1.5 million home and they want an equivalent home. They can't necessarily afford the payment on something equivalent because of that high mortgage rate. So that's why they're staying put in many cases, right? So do you think that once the Fed, now there's going to be a new Fed chief, once the Fed, if they finally come down a half a point, do you think that will stimulate the sales a little bit more?
Yeah, I do, but I think their demand is so pent up that will also drive new buyers to the market. So not too much necessarily might change, in my opinion.
Very good. And this is what you do day in and day out. So I take your opinion very, very highly. You have private equity investors too coming. This is a very holistic gathering of people in all aspects of the industry. And I love this because this is everything from the average Joey Bag of Donuts who wants to buy a house in terms of the look to very, very high end estate. And you got all these brains together in one place to discuss this. This is like a first of its kind. I don't know if this happening in New Jersey prior or post, but to talk more about how people can get there and get tickets and come to the event.
Yeah, so we're actually waitlisted as of
Oh,
this
good.
morning. So please come to dwellnewjersey.com. There are always last minute drop offs. So if you visit dwellnewjersey.com and go to our events page, and you can sign up there, you can RSVP and be added to the wait list. And the last minute people will always drop off. It happens all the time. So we're sure to be able to have some spots that'll be filled tomorrow.
Hey, that's a good problem to have. What do they call it? First world problems? That's a very, very good one.
Right.
And this is just the first of what I hope will be many, because this is a major problem in New Jersey. Maybe you have one with elected, like the governor or someone will come to one, because this is something that has to be collective. Everybody has to be talking about this at the same time. And I am very much looking forward to being on the panel there and helping to moderate, and whatever you need from me and us here at On New Jersey staff. I'm with you, because this is a problem facing all people in New Jersey. We appreciate you. Thank you so much,
Absolutely.
Steph. Man, Dwell New Jersey in Summit. Check them out too if you need a house. Got to plug that.
Thanks
And
for
we will
having
see
me.
you tomorrow night. You bet. Thank you, Steph. It is now 50 degrees at 8:14, and when we come back, a Bergen County musician and philanthropist using the power of music to spread a message of kindness around the world. Sunshine today, highs mid-60s. You're coming back in 2 minutes. Don't go away. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato at 8:16, taking calls at 888-658-0234. Lots of sun today, highs in the mid-60s, but we got some questioning from meteorologist Mike Favetta, because my basil plants did not take lightly to the 43 degrees in my
I'm sure they
neighborhood
didn't.
overnight.
It's a little cold. Hope we gave them the little tiny blankets,
Do you know how
needed
many
with
plants
the
have died on me? Do you know how many basil plants have said, I
It's
give up, this is not
we're
spring?
keeping account. I know we're keeping account in the weather center. It's something that we're taking very seriously, because we got to keep the basil plants ready for the pizza on Father's Day weekend, right? Getting the uni all prepared. Been collecting little branches and sticks to get the wood-fired oven ready in about 6 weeks. So yes, with the clear and unlimited visibility today, it's great weather to maybe have lunch lunch al fresco with plenty of sunshine forecast through this afternoon. The clear sky this morning leading to a big warm up, and a quick warm up at that, into the upper 60s, likely even hit the low 70s in some parts away from the shoreline today. That little sprinkle that came through last night just affecting mostly Bergen County, but now into this afternoon, nice and dry weather persists. As far as the futurecast goes, we'll stay dry today. Temperatures make it up to around 70, and then tonight into tomorrow, quick little sprinkle, but it's still sunny most of the day tomorrow and warm. Tomorrow night is when the substantial rain comes in, and that'll give us a quick downpour into Thursday morning. Likely see that wet weather last throughout the day Thursday and Friday, also looking pretty gray and cooler with that damp feel around. But Saturday is warm. We start off chilly, but warms up quickly into the low 70s with that sunshine and stays dry into Sunday. So we've got a great weekend ahead. Lots of sunshine both days, clear sky, and then Monday might have a few passing clouds, but it's just warm. And from that point forward, the warmer weather keeps on going right into the middle of next week. So for this weekend, highs, yeah, making it up into the 80s. It'll look beautiful with that very warm weather on the way, and temperatures above average for a change. So it'll finally feel like May. If we could just bottle this up and hold it into Memorial Day weekend, that would be amazing, but we're working on that. I'm trying to see the forecast into Memorial Day weekend, and some of the weather models actually go out that far in time as of this morning. It's looking good so far, so fingers crossed it stays nice and clear, as I think will be the case into the unofficial start of summer, Ken.
Let's hope. All right, Mike. Thank you very much. My basil plants are counting on it, so we'll see what happens. I've given up on trying to plant tomato seeds this year. I'm not.
Okay.
I am not going to nurse the tomato seeds and that takes more work than nursing the basil, which if they die, you could start the seeds again, but it's a lot. All right, Mike. Thank you, sir. 8:19 right now, 51 degrees, northern New Jersey, 49 in Trenton. It's 47 degrees in Cape May and 50 degrees now in Vineland. And in terms of traffic, we have a couple of things to talk about right now. Garden State Parkway, they're calling it operational activity with a debris spill. And this is the express lanes southbound near 105. Exit 105 in Tinton Falls. State police are on the scene taking care of that right now. But some congestion to talk about. Let's go over to Route 21. Delays northbound from north of I-78 to Cottage Street in Newark. All lanes open, but if you can you can kind of make out the traffic on the left side. See where my name is, Ken? That's some of the traffic they're getting off in Newark as you get off, coming up from the airport. That's where that is right now. I know how many times have we taken that route. 206, we have delays right now. Roxbury by Flanders and Netcong Road. Actually, it's Mount Olive Township. All lanes are open, but very heavy. Let's look at the 139 approach to the Holland Tunnel right now, if we can. That's bumper to bumper right now, making your way off of 78 to the Holland Tunnel. You can see the traffic is going to cost you about 30 to 35 minutes in. Much better at the Lincoln, only 20 to 25. And the GWB upper and lower level was just stopped about 15 minutes ago. Do we have any improvement 15 minutes later? Let's see. A little bit. It's heavy, but moving. We're told it's 35 minutes in right now. 8:20 is our time, and a Bergen County musician and philanthropist is using the power of music to spread the message of kindness around the world. Ken Rosato is the founder of the band Random Acts of Kindness. He wrote and executive produced the song I Wish, a heartfelt anthem encouraging compassion, empathy, and human connection. We're only on this earth for a short time, folks. The song recently gained international attention after being recorded by the African Children's Choir, with the accompanying video generating millions of views online and reaching listeners all around the globe. We say good morning to you, Ken.
Good morning.
It's good to have you on. And by the way, of 1,500 interviews we've done on this show, and that is a serious number, 1,500 in the last year and a quarter, you're the first Ken I've had on as a guy named Ken. So it's nice that we got some class on the screen. Two Kens.
Absolutely.
That's it. Our parents knew what they were doing. All right. So you spent years in the corporate world before stepping away to focus on music and philanthropy. What inspired that transition? Because a lot of people wouldn't walk away from the corporate world.
Well, I spent a lot of time working, and in the last job that I had as CEO of Health Monitor Network, took a lot of time and commitment. I was there for 17 years working 24/7, right? And so at some point, you realize you're ready for your next chapter. And, after we had done a private equity deal back in 2019, I knew eventually that the time would come. And so it did. And I had been playing drums since I've been 8 years old, and songwriting really just when I had a chance, because I was always so busy working. And really what transpired was back during COVID, when I still had the day job, I wrote a song called Healthcare Workers Rock and produced that to give healthcare workers the recognition that they deserved and to give them something to rally around. And at that time, I wasn't planning on it, but started a record label called Better World Records and the music collective and group called Random Acts of Kindness. And so that's how it started. And now that I've been retired from that business chapter for 5 years, I finally had the opportunity to pursue it. And so that's kind of how that all came about.
Sweet. So now, specifically with the song I Wish, how did that first come to you, and what was the message that you hope people would take away from that?
So I was actually writing another song called Peace for a Day, and I was in Cabo in Mexico. And as I was writing it, I was working on the bridge, and I had this bridge, and that's kind of where I Wish was born. And I started to look at the lyrics as what I was writing and realized that, wait a minute, this needs to be a standalone song. And so that's how I Wish was born. I realized that I wanted to create a simple song. And certainly, as I thought about the meaning and powerful lyrics, John Lennon's Imagine came to mind, of just the brevity of those lyrics and how powerful words can be. And so I kept it simple. And with that song, the goal is really simple. It's to spread kindness and peace and hope and inspiration and acceptance for people around the world. And that's how the song started. I released it late October of 25. The first performance of it was by the San Diego Children's Choir, actually at Breeders' Cup in front of 50,000 people. And for me, that was really a test to see how the power of children's voices could deliver these deep and meaningful lyrics. And I was blown away. Hundreds of people had come up to me, tears in their eyes. And what I realized at the time is that children can deliver a message with their authenticity and their innocence that can provide hope and inspiration for the world. And so after I realized, wait a minute, I'm going to do a global kindness initiative and collaborate with children's choirs from every continent in the world. And so the next one I decided to partner with was the African Children's Choir, and we recorded and filmed in Uganda late November and released the song February 27th this year. And now the video that we see in the background has gone viral. We're over 24 million views. As of this morning, over 21 on YouTube and the rest on social media. And it's just fantastic because, when people say, oh, what do you think now that's gone viral? I think one thing, the sole reason that I'm doing this is to make the world a better place and spread kindness through meaningful lyrics, music, and philanthropy. The more people that get to see it, the more these positive messages of kindness get out in a time, in a world where everyone needs a little bit of hope.
So here's my question, and by the way, sounds amazing. And those kids, the African Children's Choir, sounds. I'm literally getting goosebumps listening to that in the background. How do you go about even contacting them, and then how did the video get shot? No, I mean that's a lot of coordinating. How does that happen?
Well, getting in touch with the African Children's Choir was serendipitous. I had heard that they were going to be performing at a local church in a different state. And it was at a time where it was after the performance of the San Diego Children's Choir. And I said, wow, these guys would be amazing. So I just sent an email to their chief creative officer and said, I had a vision, would love to partner with you guys. And at first, blushed. They're like, yeah, we hear from people all the time. But when they took a look at the lyrics and they heard the song, they loved it. And that turned into both a partnership and a friendship. Super excited about it. We filmed virtually in Uganda. So there was a small recording studio. So myself and my producer, Mike Rogers, we did it virtually with their recording engineer. It wasn't easy because the internet connection wasn't stable. Sometimes we're in, sometimes we're not. But in the end, that worked out, and all the filming was done in Uganda, and we put all this together for the launch that took place in February. And just thrilled about the way it came out. Yep, there's a lot of coordination, a lot of detail, all those things that go into it, but it turned out to be fantastic, and I'm just thrilled.
Amen to that. Ken, what's a website so people could listen to that, listen to all your music and get more information?
Yeah, so randomactsofkindnessmusic.com is our website. On Instagram, we're Random Acts of Kindness Music. You can get all of our updates there. Every Wednesday, we have something called I Wish Wednesday. We ask people to send in their comments or DM to nominate a charity of their choice and why they've been inspired or how they want to honor someone. And every Wednesday, we give away money. We pick a winner to that. So, you can check out all of that. Obviously, that video is on YouTube under our Random Acts of Kindness channel. We couldn't be more excited. We're actually in the process of getting ready for our next children's choir, which is going to be very interesting and very meaningful. It's going to be at the end of May, and we're actually filming and recording in Ukraine in a bomb shelter. And so I feel it's really important to highlight the children of Ukraine and what they're going through. And the amazing thing is, yes, we're going to do it in a bomb shelter, but aside from telling the story of the children of Ukraine, they're actually going to be able to be part of the solution, because as you look at those lyrics and you imagine those lyrics coming from the children of Ukraine that have been through so much, it's just amazing. And they're going to be able to change the world, right? So it's kind of, they almost come from victims, and survivors to victors, because their voices are going to be able to provide hope, inspiration, and change to everybody in the world.
Got you. He is the founder of the band Random Acts of Kindness. He wrote and executive produced the song I Wish. Check it out at that website. Ken Fryrick, thank you for coming on this morning.
My pleasure. Great to be here, Ken.
You bet. Thank you. And when we come back, Rutgers University Newark celebrating its 80th anniversary, and the university is reflecting on 8 decades of academic achievement, especially its Institute of Jazz Studies. We're back in 2 minutes. A very good morning. It is Tuesday, May 12th, 2026, 50 degrees at 8:32. I'm Ken Rosato. Welcome back to On New Jersey Morning. Sunshine today, highs mid-60s. Meteorologist Mike Favetta has the complete, full, and honest Garden State forecast. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. Brutally honest. That's the key. The brutal honesty. For especially for the weekend with the big warm up that happens. We start off chilly on Saturday, but it gets so warm by the afternoon. It'll definitely be weather to enjoy today. Also beautiful. Lots of clear sky, even down the shore, where highs today make it back into the upper 60s and low 70s. That's in the shade. It'll feel even warmer in the sun. So taking that stroll, be sure to stay on the sunny side of the screen. You'll enjoy that warm up into this afternoon. Now, tomorrow, a quick note. It does get very windy with those winds out of the south upwards of 30, 40 miles per hour, especially at the coast. This is tomorrow afternoon, so plan on a very warm finish to the day, but also a windy one, and that precedes all of the rain that comes in tomorrow night, lasting through the day on Thursday. And then we're stuck with kind of cloudy weather throughout the day on Friday. So winds are going to be higher, and that means pollen drives higher as well, back up to the high level for trees and grasses. I think we actually get to the very high level by this afternoon into tomorrow, thanks to highs today reaching back up into the upper 60s. So I wanted to make a quick note. Sunrise now well before 6 a.m. and the sunset after 8 o'clock. So as we approach the summer solstice, which is just a month away, enjoying those nice long evenings, those afternoons with the daylight that's around right through around 8:30. But the rain chances are a little bit higher, especially for tomorrow, and then by Thursday, that's where we see our rainy day, but it drops down to 0 for this upcoming weekend. So a dry weekend ahead, great warm weather to enjoy. Today also looking great with that big high pressure settling in, enjoying our clear sky. Here's the rain that comes in later tonight, mostly tomorrow evening. I think tomorrow morning might have some dampness around, but it's sunny most of the day. And then tomorrow evening have our wet weather that sticks around in through most of the day on Thursday, with another low that kind of sits and spins and gives us those clouds and showers all throughout the day on Friday. That clears out nicely by Saturday and brings back clear sky to start the weekend, and it stays dry going into next week as well. So a big warm up on the way for this weekend into next. Just have to make it through the next 2 days of wet weather, especially tomorrow night into Thursday. Friday, a little cloudy, but then look at this warm up. Upper 80s by Sunday into Monday. So that warmth is here to stay, and it will look beautiful into next week. A little bit of a sea breeze cools you down at the beaches by Monday, Ken.
All right, Mike. Thank you very much. So we appreciate it. 8:35 is our time. 50 degrees in northern New Jersey, 49 in Trenton. It's 47 in Cape May, and it's 51 now in Vineland. And boy, oh boy, you want to see ugly? I'll show you ugly. Let's take that camera. Oh, Pam, did they just do that live? As I'm saying, take that camera, they moved the camera. I don't believe it. I think they're punking us. They're punking us, Pam. Let me see if I can find an adjacent camera, Pam. You keep, we'll keep talking. So this is the approach to the Lincoln Tunnel. I do not literally. You would, as I'm talking about it, they moved the camera. Yeah, yeah. Go to 495, please, Pam. I don't. Why would you move it from bumper to bumper traffic to what is flowing? People, come on, help us out. Or Pam, you know what? You could take that chain. You could take that shot now. They got a better angle. They keep moving it, but there is an angle. 112.3 Eastern Spur Interchange 16 East South of Now they moved it again. I'm just going to show you. I'm going to do this. That looks like a now. If you're whoever's the camera operator, why are you using that stupid shot? I'm going to call it what it is. That's a stupid shot that shows the top of a building when literally right there. See, they're moving the camera, folks. You deal with this. Is what we deal with. That's the traffic back there. Good guys. That's what we're trying. Just stop. That's what we want. Sorry. All right. So anyway, Pam, you can bring that up if you have it now that they've moved the camera. Do you have it? Thank you. All right. You can kind of see the traffic. I'm sorry to waste so much time on this, folks, but literally, Pam, that's actually not the shot. But this is the one I'm talking about right there. But that's and of course, now it ends. There's bumper to bumper traffic getting into the Lincoln Tunnel is the point we're trying to make. And that is the problem. It's going to cost you 35 to 40 minutes in, and it's coming off of the turnpike. Holland Tunnel, not much better, 35 minutes in as well. GWB upper and lower levels, an absolute mess. And it's been this way all morning long. Upper levels on the right, lower levels on the left. This is the 80-95 approach. It's going to cost you a solid 40 minutes into Manhattan. Thank you very much, Pam. I give up with the cameras. 8:37, Rutgers University, Newark is celebrating its 80th anniversary. Yes, Rutgers down in New Brunswick, they've been around since the 1700s. But Rutgers University, Newark is now celebrating its 80th anniversary. And the university is reflecting on 8 decades of incredible academic achievement in the heart of Newark, New Jersey's largest city. Great city, too. One of the institution's treasures is the Institute of Jazz Studies, home to the world's largest public jazz archive. It's a hub for live performances. And Rutgers Newark Chancellor, Dr. Tanya Smith-Jackson, she's with us this morning. We say, Dr. Chancellor, thank you so much for being with us. Good to have you on.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me, Ken. Good morning.
It's an honor and a pleasure, Doctor. And please tell us what reaching this milestone. By the way, I was there 80 years ago. What does reaching this?
No way.
It's a lot of makeup, I'll tell you. What is it like reaching this milestone for Rutgers? Because it is truly an iconic institution in the state of New Jersey. And how is the university celebrating?
Oh, absolutely. We're happy to celebrate our actual establishment in 1946. Rutgers University Newark was really established by a legislative act, and the governor at that time and others who are supporting urban education decided that we needed more of a stronger university in the city of Newark to allow access and opportunity for those who are often left out of education. And so April 30th, 1946, the act was signed, and Rutgers University Newark became what it is today. We are celebrating 80 years of accomplishments. The promise of access and opportunity leading to excellence has been kept by this institution. We've proven to the world that when you open the doors for others, you can have talent and excellence concentrated in one place. And that's what's happening right here at Rutgers University Newark. We celebrated it on April 30th. April 30th, because that is the date of the actual signing of the act.
Wow! And you didn't invite me. No, I'm kidding. It's
everyone was invited.
By the way, I have to tell you, the fact that you have the Institute of Jazz Studies, which is recognized around the world. I am and have been since I'm 18. A mega fan of jazz. I listened literally this morning. I woke up listening to Oscar Peterson on a clear day. That's what I woke up to because it was sunny and beautiful. I see you moving your head. So I'm guessing you know Oscar Peterson's music, one of my favorite pianists on the planet ever in history. What makes this collection and this archive that you have there so unique and so important in the world of jazz?
Oh, unique. We have the largest jazz archive in the entire world. A lot of people don't know that. It's right here in Rutgers, Newark, 1 block from me. One of the most important aspects of this jazz archive is the mixture of collections inside of the archive. So we have compositions, we have complete compositions of jazz artists, we have papers that were written by some of the jazz artists, we have vinyl, we have all kinds of vinyl records, we have recordings that were done during performances. We have a number of different photographs of jazz performances and videos as well, and dating back decades. That archive is a treasure trove for anyone who really wants to study the original classical music of the United States. There isn't a genre that could be considered real classical music formed in the United States that is new and creative, except jazz. Jazz is our original classical music. And so there's an opportunity here for people to learn, to discover, to conduct research, to use it as education for young people, for old people. We also, as part of the Institute, own at the bottom of the RBG building, we own Clements. And Clements is actually an open performance area where we invite jazz artists, local artists from all over the world. And people certainly can come in at no charge and enjoy real authentic jazz.
And that jazz spread to the Western Hemisphere before it went to Europe, but of course it went to Europe too. It went down to Brazil and became bossa nova. They took their spin on it, but that was from American jazz. And then of course it went to France. And when we had so much discrimination in the United States, many black artists, performers, singers went to France and in Paris became megastars, and then the world realized you're idiots in America to be discriminating. And but this is how this genre has just done this. I was only 18 working as a baby DJ at a radio station in Mount Kisco, New York, when I played jazz for the first time and was hooked instantly. And it was like just it tugged at my heart. And I still get goosebumps when I hear jazz in the background everywhere I go. And I'm sure a lot of people are that way too, because that's why there are millions upon millions of lovers around the world. So now, what is in the works and in the plans to continue celebrating over the next year at Rutgers with its wonderful Institute of Jazz?
Oh, yes, we have a number of events that are planned. You'll hear about them in our save the dates and in our press announcements, but we will have several celebrations where we recognize different aspects and part of the history of the university to provide the public with a better understanding of the history of Rutgers University Newark. We'll continue on, though, culminating on October 24th, which is the homecoming celebration of Rutgers University Newark, and we'll also celebrate our 80th year as well.
Fantastic. You could go to the website newark.rutgers.edu, newark.rutgers.edu, celebrating 80 years, although I will tell you it doesn't look a day over 30. Rutgers University Newark. God bless it, you, and the wonderful institution that is Rutgers for making New Jersey so proud. Rutgers Newark Chancellor Dr. Tanya Smith Jackson, it's an honor to have you on. Please come back again, and happy 80th year for the university.
Thank you. It was my pleasure, Ken. Thank you.
You bet.
Have a great
Thank
day.
you, Doctor. You too. Thank you. 50 degrees. Well, I mean, what would New Jersey be without Rutgers? Think about it. 50 degrees at 8:43, and our friends from AARP New Jersey warn seniors about some new scams. We're going to be talking to them coming up next. A very good morning. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. Ken Rosato at 8:46 with meteorologist Mike Favetta. Sunshine today and little rain returns tomorrow. Good morning, sir.
Little rain on the way, yes, for tomorrow. Predominantly tomorrow night, which is nice considering we get another clear afternoon ahead. Ah, there I am. Get another clear afternoon ahead. That brings back all of the rainfall by the end of the week, and it's rain we could use given how dry the ground has been. Could pick up about a half an inch of rain tomorrow night into Thursday morning. And places like Cape May, really dry, 70%, 17% of average rainfall. That correlates to a 1 to 2 inch rainfall deficit for all these areas shaded in red, especially where a lot of New Jersey agriculture takes place. Down in the southwestern corner of the state, the severe drought continues there for the remainder of this week. Up in northern New Jersey, clear sky today, loads of sunshine means highs back into the upper 60s and low 70s. It'll feel warmer, especially with the afternoon sun, because the air is very dry, which is unusual for me. Typically, there's a little bit of humidity around, but not much precipitation even in the longer range trend. Yes, it rains tomorrow and Thursday and maybe a little bit on Friday, but beyond that, it's pretty dry. And so the outlook into the end of May features that dry and warmer trend that takes us into May 26th with above average temperatures. And we could see some 90s probably as soon as the end of next week into Memorial Day weekend. Check out the 7-day forecast. Highs up to 80 on Saturday, 86 on Sunday. Beautiful weather this upcoming weekend. And then there's our 92 by Tuesday. I knew it would pop up. 92 in a week's time. So beautiful weather ahead as we head into next week with the warm up on the way, and it'll feel great around here. A little bit cooler down by the beaches, especially on Monday with a wind off of the water, but even by Tuesday at the beaches, back up into the 80s. So very warm weather ahead just as we look ahead to unofficial summer. What is that, about 13 days away?
All right. All right. Fingers crossed. Thank you, Mike. It is
Mhm.
49
You
degrees
bet.
in Trenton, 51 degrees northern Jersey. By the way, have a nice day, Mike. And just a quick shot, want to tell you about this is on Route 4 up in the Teaneck area by 95. Bumper to bumper going in. That's because of bridge traffic. And now, our friends from AARP, New Jersey. As New Jersey works to protect some of its most vulnerable residents, oversight and accountability in long term care facilities remain a critical priority. The Office of the State Comptroller plays a key role in investigating fraud, ensuring transparency, and safeguarding taxpayer dollars, especially when it comes to Medicaid funded services. Medicaid money is such a big chunk of the state budget. Joining us now are New Jersey Comptroller Shirley Emma Helu and Josh Lickblau, who's director of the Medicaid Fraud Division, to discuss how their office is working to protect seniors and strengthen trust in the system. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning, Ken.
And I said Emma Helu, it's Emma Helu, right?
That is perfect.
All right. And I practiced it too. I'm sorry I made a mistake going in initially. Shirley, please tell us the role of the comptroller in New Jersey, because I think a lot of people hear it and they say they've heard it pronounced controller, comptroller. Tell us what a controller does, and it's all about the bucks, right?
That's absolutely right. And it is comptroller with a P. Our role at a high level is to protect New Jersey taxpayer dollars. We ensure that taxpayer dollars are spent as they're supposed to be. That is efficiently, transparently, and in the best interests of the public. We do that through our investigations, our contract reviews, our audits, and we identify any red flags that may be occurring to make sure that any unusual spending inconsistencies are addressed. And we do this really to promote transparency, to promote accountability, and to build trust in our governmental systems.
So when your office comes knocking, that's when we should be shaking in our boots. So we don't want to be. But if you're just honest and you take care of your books the right way, you don't have to worry about it, right?
That's absolutely correct. Certainly we are an oversight agency and we, take our work very seriously, but we are often collaborating with our governmental entities that we are auditing or investigating, really to help them reach compliance. We are not just here to be a boogeyman of sorts. We really are endeavoring to help to make sure our governmental entities are working as they're supposed to be, and to make sure that the Medicaid program that is administered by the state is being operating thoroughly, effectively, efficiently, and that providers are not abusing the Medicaid program and obtaining reimbursements that they are not entitled to. So we certainly take our role very seriously. But again, our endeavor is to make sure that we are moving toward compliance, and we are often doing that in a collaborative but very serious fashion.
And of course, Shirley gave us the perfect segue there because we have our Medicaid person right here. So thank you for that, Shirley. Josh, what is the mission of the Medicaid Fraud Division? And Medicaid, I think a lot of people don't realize what percentage of the state budget goes to Medicaid. Isn't it close to half? It's like 40 something percent.
It's the second largest expenditure in our state budget behind education. The state overall, in total, with federal and state dollars, spends over $26 billion with a B dollars on the Medicaid program, which covers about 1.8 million residents of the state. Almost half the children in New Jersey are on Medicaid. It is a very large program, and our role is essentially the watchdog of the program. As Shirley was saying, we guard the fisc of the program, so we make sure that the money is spent effectively and appropriately as it's supposed to be spent. We audit, investigate providers, Medicaid providers, among many other things, and we work to improve the oversight of the Medicaid program, which is essentially a joint venture between the state and managed care organizations, insurance companies, which provide the networks for the Medicaid beneficiaries.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about billions and billions of dollars, the opportunity for somebody to cheat the system is so there, and that's why it is so essential to have you, Shirley, and you, Josh, there to make sure, and your agencies, your respective agencies, to make sure that people stay on the straight and narrow, because the temptation is there, I'm sure, for many people. Although we have 99%, thankfully, of our medical providers who are as honest as the day is long, and then you get those few. Don't just double bill this, double bill that, they'll never notice. And they do that to the tune of millions of dollars. So surely transparency you talked about is so essential, specifically now in nursing homes and long-term care facilities. That's really important, isn't it?
Absolutely. And that's been one of our focus areas in the past couple years. It's a very important area. My father himself, before he passed away, spent time in a nursing home, and really, the public is trusting these facilities to take care of their loved ones, sometimes at end of stage of life or through a medical crisis. And so we are working hard every day to make sure that nursing homes are providing care that is sufficient to meet the needs of the residents, that they are not cutting corners through understaffing, through inappropriate billings to basically profiteer off the Medicaid program at the expense of nursing home residents. Now, obviously there are bad apples. There are also good apples, many so, in the nursing home industry, but we really want to make sure that those facilities that are not meeting the needs of their residents, while at the same time profiting from the Medicaid program, that we are going after them, that we are seeking recoupments of Medicaid payments, that we are seeking penalties where appropriate. And Josh can tell you more about our successes, but I believe to date we've recouped over $100 million for the Medicaid program. And that goes back not just to the federal government, but also to the state. So we are also preserving important state dollars.
That's amazing. And we're down to our last minute, but I definitely have to bring Josh in on that. Some of the warning signs that people need to look out for when it comes to potential fraud, Josh.
Well, in a nursing home setting, I think the easiest or the most apparent warning sign would be low staffing. high turnover in staffing. If you or a loved one is in a nursing home and you see that care is not being given in a timely way, that's a warning sign of a major problem. There's a long-term care ombudsman who's essentially an advocate for residents who's available to help in those situations. Our office is available as well. But I think that the easiest warning sign, the quickest one to see, is a low staffing. So if you're visiting someone in a nursing home and you see that staff is overwhelmed, there's not nearly enough people to address the needs of the residents, that's a big problem.
And that is a big deal. And having an 88 and 95-year-old parents right now who have been in nursing homes recently for rehab, I've witnessed it firsthand, and I know exactly what you're talking about. Two different nursing homes, totally different. One had lots of staff, one had none. And I heard all the rumors about the one that had none. So I appreciate you both. New Jersey is very lucky to have you both keeping an eye on things. We appreciate you. We'd love to have you back. Again, the website for AARP is aarp.org/New Jersey/NJ. New Jersey Comptroller, and that's Comptroller, Shirley Emahelu, and Director of Medicaid Fraud Division, Josh Lichtblau. Thank you both for coming on this morning, and thank you both for what you do. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ken.
You bet. And that is on New Jersey Mornings for your Tuesday, May 12th, 2026. Have a great day.